Good evening, YouTube Model Railroader fans. I have no idea what vlog this is. I think it's vlog 33. I'm really not sure. It's been a while since I've done one, so. It's Sunday, December the 13th, 2015. And we're getting really close to my 1 year mark with being with the YouTube Model Builders. And being on YouTube, so still not 100% certain what I'm going to do with that yet. Of course, I'm only at like 97 subscribers and 3,000 views, so it's, you know, I kind of hit a plateau and just leveled off there, but anyway, just a general thing tonight. I know next week, the 19th? Yeah, the 19th is the last YouTube Model Builders live for the year, at least the live show, not the Hangouts, the live show. So we've got that next weekend. Last weekend was the train show up at Timonium, the winter show. Don't get me started on that. Did get a chance to catch up with Justin Volker and Walt Faulkner from Walt World. He actually came over. I was hoping to get some video. We didn't do it. Things were kind of in flux last Sunday. Things didn't go the way I was thinking they were going to go. Namely with the show, that was the first problem, and then just life in general. So things didn't work out the way I wanted them to. I apologize to Walt. Apologize to you all. You know, we did come down here. He looked at the layout. I ran a couple of trains. You know, and you know, we basically talked for like an hour. So it was all good. Glad he stopped by. Glad I had a chance to catch up with Justin again. We all met up. Like I said, we all met up at the Timonium show. So it was all good. But like I said, I should have planned it out a little bit better. I guess, for lack of a better term, I should have planned that one out a little bit better. No other real updates on this thing. I did just get finished taking a couple of pictures, which I'm going to upload to YouTube Model Builders, and playing around. I'm back on the iPad for vlog 33. I was not happy with how I think it was vlog 32. Like I said, I think this is vlog 33, and unfortunately, I'm not sure if the computer down here is actually up and running or not, but regardless, 32, 33, 34, I'm in that range someplace. I should have checked it before I started, but I didn't. Typical me. On the fly. So, didn't really, like I said, I took a couple of shots, just some different things down here, a few minutes ago. I'm going to go ahead and upload those. I think I mentioned it on the last vlog, but I did put the blimp back together. That's completely fixed, at least for the moment. We'll see how long it stays up there. Hopefully it doesn't fly away like the one up at Aberdeen did. We have to call in Tom Brady to deflate the situation, right? Sorry, putting some stuff back because I was working on something else. I did pick up a couple of, here it is. I was looking for a locomotive, or looking for an SW7, SW12, or I'm sorry, SW7, S12, SW1200. Anyway, they were put underneath of that Canton Railroad locomotive that I've got. Still haven't come across anything yet. I've got some leads. The Timonium show, I guess I'm just a, I guess I'm just a cheapskate. Because there was a fellow up there, he had a boatload of them. He must have had like 25 or 30 of these things. He wanted $45 a piece for them. DC. And I probably should have jumped on it. I probably should have gone after it. I mean, they were nice looking locomotives. I mean, so on and so forth. He had Tropicanas sitting there. He had CSX, Chesapeake in Ohio, Baltimore in Ohio, Pennsylvania. I mean, he had a whole different batch of them sitting there. And that's all well and good. But I just couldn't see myself spending $45. And not only that, but if I would have spent that money on the locomotive, I would have been sleeping outside. So, or at least on the couch. So, you know, I gotta, like I said before, I gotta watch what I'm doing here. So, but in the midst of all being on Evil Bay and looking around, I actually found for another issue that I had, and this has been a while, and I think we've talked about this once or twice, was the F7s. Well, lo and behold, I found a guy selling F7s. And I figured to myself, you know what, instead of just trying to go ahead and get the frame with the motor and the mounts and all that, I'll just get F7s and then I'll swap out shells and I'll just sell the shells off or give them away or whatever. So I picked up two. One of them was a dummy. Dummy me, didn't pay attention, picked up a dummy. That doesn't do me a lot of good. I wanted powered units, but one of them, this one here, was actually supposed to be the dummy. I actually took the shell off of the dummy frame and put it on the powered frame. So I now have a powered, undecorated F7. And you're probably wondering what I'm going to do with this dude. Well, even though the weather was 60 degrees outside today, it is December. And I live in Maryland. So, you know, I'm not going to get too many days like that over the winter. So what I'm thinking is once I get rid of my boat, I'm going to be spending a lot more time on this thing, and probably what I'm going to do come spring, this will be the first F7 that will get painted up for the Boeville and Newtown, #1, and it may end up becoming the first very detailed locomotive that I do. I haven't really looked down that road yet, but that's what I'm thinking about doing with this thing, so we'll see where that leads. Because I got this wonderful base now. I mean, like I said, I've had that PA unit for a long time. I need to redo it. So now I've got something new to play with. But that brings me to, you know, the shells that I have. And like I said, I'm going to probably end up getting rid of a few. I haven't really decided how many I'm going to let go of yet. But, I mean, I've got, you know what, it might be just as easy. Sorry, I'm shaking the bench. And, of course, I don't know what I did with it. Yes, I do know what I did with it. I do know what I did with it. Because I'm actually going to keep the dummy. The dummy frame. And I don't know why I put this back in here, but I did. Because, actuality, I want it up there, but that's beside the point. Let's see if... Ah, there it is. Alright, cool. Alright. Now that I've gotten my head out of my rear end, I'm back. Not that I ever went away, but I'm back. So, as of right now, I've got I know I've got a couple of these floating around, but I've got something else that I'm in the process of doing. I've got a friend of mine that is actually going to become a dad next year, and he had sent some stuff over for me to take a look at. I've already worked on it, but I'm actually going to surprise him here this week if I get around to it. I'm actually going to go ahead and put some stuff together to give to him, so he can kind of, that way his stuff will be a little bit more expanded besides what he's got. So I've got to figure out what I'm going to actually end up giving to him, and then once I figure that out, then I'll know what's left. And I can tell you that anything for the Western railroads, Burlington Northern, Santa Fe, so on and so forth, is probably going to end up giving away. I'll probably end up giving it up or selling it. Along with, I haven't decided if I really want to keep this one or not, but I'm probably going to let this one go as well. This is a Southern Pacific. I do know that because this is a duplicated shell, if anybody is into the Pennsylvania, would want a Pennsylvania F7, there you go. It's got no detail parts on it whatsoever, so you can have a blast with that. And this here, this one here, I think I'm going to end up keeping for the moment. I may end up having something to do with this. but because I've got an F7 sitting over here for the New Haven, even though he's sitting on a old Boeville frame. And then of course I've also got a C liner, which is an old AHM, but still it works. So that's this shell here. I may end up, I don't know if I'm going to let it go or not. It's not in the greatest of shape. Like I said, I think I may have an idea for this, which is the reason why I was thinking about keeping the dummy frame, which is now underneath of this Chesapeake and Ohio, which I am keeping. I'm going to keep the shell. Whether I keep it on the dummy frame or not, that's another story. Let me put that back up here, so that way it doesn't disappear again. So, you know, like I said, I definitely know that this one here is going away. This one here will definitely be one of the ones that I'm going to be willing to let go, because it's a duplicate. There's no need to have two of them with the same road number, nonetheless. So, and of course, like I said, I don't know about the Southern Pacific. I'm really thinking about letting that one go as well, because I really don't. That's Western, and I'm more to the Eastern, Midwest to the East. Even though I know that the Southern Pacific and so on and so forth, I'm really trying to stick to the Eastern railroads, at least as far as the road names and all go, because of the premise behind the railroad over here. You know, being a bridge route, number one, and number two, one of the things that once I get around to rebuilding this thing, one of the biggest things that's going to have is a local locomotive repair facility, so that, you know, railroads that are in the area or somebody in the area, they got a problem, there isn't, I'm going to basically state that there wasn't a locomotive shop close enough by, and there was a problem, and what we do is we go ahead and lend our service to the railroads in the area or to whoever to be able to use our shops, and I'm saying the Boeville and Newtown shops, to do locomotive repair. So that's just another little added little thing to the background to this, which is something that I actually had kind of in place since day one. That was a thought, was that this was going to be, there was going to be a locomotive repair facility, which is really how the Boeville Newtown ended up with some of the locomotives it's got. You know, it was like, well, gee, we can repair it, but how much do you want for it? We can fix it for you, but... So... Oh, anyway. Call me crazy. I am crazy. Anyway, so that's just another little tidbit, and another little piece of the puzzle. So, I got nothing. Nothing else. So, anywho, you know what? I notice I'm up to like 13 and a half minutes. I don't know if I'm going to be able to add anything to this. I don't know if YouTube and Google and iMovies and iPad or Apple ever fixed their freaking compatibility problem, but you all know the deal. Wait for the highball, green tracks ahead, and we'll catch you next time. You all have a good one.